बिस्मिल्लाहिर्रहमानिर्रहीम। एंटीनेटल केयर चैप्टर नंबर 2, 10 टीचर्स। स्टार्ट करते हैं इसको। ओवरव्यू, ठीक है। ओवरव्यू ऑफ एंटीनेटल केयर। व्हाट इज़ द एम ऑफ एंटीनेटल केयर? एम इज़ टू ऑप्टिमाइज प्रेगनेंसी आउटकम फॉर वुमेन एंड बेबीज। Next is to prevent and detect and manage those factors that adversely affect the health of the mother and baby, and to provide advice, reassurance, education, support, and for the woman that and her family to deal with the minor ailments of pregnancy, to provide general health screening. Antenatal care aims to make the woman the focus. Women should be treated with kindness and dignity at all times, and due respect given to the personal, cultural, and religious beliefs. Services should be readily accessible, and there should be continuity of care. There is a need for high quality, culturally appropriate verbal and written information on the on which women can base their choices. Through a truly informed decision making process which is led by them. Okay, in the UK and many countries worldwide, maternity care for an individual woman is provided by a community based team of midwives and family practitioners such as general practitioners, a hospital consultant team, and a combination of the two. Some women have complex pregnancies, and in these instances a hospital based obstetric team leads their antenatal care, and they are said to have the consultant care. And many more women have pregnancies where there are no overtly complicating factors, and these women usually have community based care and said to be under the midwifery care. A further group have risk factors identified at booking, for example previous cesarean section, which mandate clinical input by the obstetrician, but where the majority of routine care can still be provided by the community team. This is referred to as a shared care. Okay, advice, reassurance, and education. Pregnancy is the time of great uncertainty and stress. This is compounded by the many physical changes experienced by the woman during her pregnancy. Common symptoms include nausea, heartburn, constipation, shortness of breath, dizziness, swelling, backache, abdominal discomforts, headache. Generally, these reflect physiological adaptations to the pregnancy but may become extremely debilitating for the pregnant woman. Occasionally, they will represent the first presentation of a more serious problem. Okay, information regarding smoking, alcohol consumption, and use of drugs, both legal and illegal, during pregnancy is extremely important. In some population, almost one third of women smoke during pregnancy, despite its association with the fetal growth restriction, preterm labor, and placental abruption, and intrauterine fetal death. A major role of antenatal care is to help women limit these harmful behaviors during pregnancy, for example by inclusion in smoking cessation programs. Alcohol and illegal substance misuse may require more specialized skills from support services, including perinatal mental health teams. The information given should be of high quality and evidence based. It should be provided in a manner appropriate to the woman and in different formats, certain information where appropriate and possible. Okay, what is parent craft? Parent craft, this term is important to memorize. Okay, as this term is also important as for MCQ, so I need to highlight this term. Okay, this thing. Parent craft education. What is the parent craft education? Is the term used to describe formal group discussion of issues relating to pregnancy, labor, delivery, and care of newborn. These sessions offer an opportunity for couples to meet others in same situation and help to establish a network of social contacts that may be useful after the delivery. They may include a tour of the maternity department, the aim of which is to lessen the anxiety and increase the sense of maternal control surrounding delivery, so that when she goes into labor, this is not the first time she is visiting the labor room and the maternity ward. Okay, to acclimatize that woman, one visit is good. Okay, this is what is the parent craft. The important point to remember is this term from this paragraph. First trimester. What is first trimester? When a woman becomes pregnant, one of the interactions with the health services known as booking visit. Okay, one of the first interaction. What is booking visit? The first interaction between the woman, pregnant woman, and the health services is the booking visit. So, what is booking visit? More oftenly, this question also asked, what is booking visit? At this point, I shortly afterwards, a midwife will take a detailed history, examine the woman, and perform a series of routine investigations with the woman's consent in order that the appropriate care can be offered. If risk factors are identified that may potentially impact on the pregnancy outcome, the midwife will assess the specialized services on behalf of the woman, and this may mean referral to a hospital, consultant, obstetric clinic, or other specialist services as appropriate. Medical and psychosocial issues raised at the booking visit may need to be explored in some depth. So booking visit is a very very important visit. Okay, number of detailed information you can have at that time about the patient personal, mental, psychological, sexual, domestic violence, medical, surgical, past history, gynecological history, obstetrical history. All these informations you must gather at that moment, and the socio-economic status of that moment. ठीक है, तो at which point she needs help, you can provide the help, or you have to refer this patient to any other department. So you must decide at that moment, either this patient is a low risk, this pregnancy is a low risk pregnancy, or is a high risk pregnancy. Accordingly, you plan a care of antenatal in the antenatal period for that particular woman. Okay, what is body mass index and weight assessment? Height and weight should be measured at the booking visit. Body mass index calculated and assessed, and the woman counseled accordingly. If the BMI is more than 35 kg per meter square, it is recommended that the woman is reviewed by an obstetric consultant or other healthcare professional who can provide appropriate advice on the increased pregnancy risk. Okay, and intervention, so which one is the cutoff value is BMI more than 35 kg per meter square. And interventions to minimize excessive gestational weight gain. The Institute of Medicine have guidelines on the recommended weight increase in pregnancy for normal weight women. So this paragraph is very very important for the point of MCQ point of view, because mostly they ask the weight, what is the appropriate weight gain for that woman, and they give sometime height and weight, and you calculate the BMI, and after that you choose the option for the appropriate weight gain of that particular woman. If her BMI is 18.5 to 24.9 kg per meter square, that is normal. The recommended total weight gain in pregnancy is 11 to 16 kg, and in pounds 25 to 35 pounds. And for overweight women, BMI 25 to 29.9 kg per meter square is 7 to 11 kg, and in pounds it's 15 to 25 pounds. And for obese women, equal to and more than 30 kg per meter square, and women 5 to 9 kg and 11 to 20 pounds. Okay, this is for about like for normal weight women, normal BMI, with normal BMI 18.5 to 24.9, what is it is 11 to 16 kg, and in pounds it is 25 to 35 pounds. And overweight woman, in which the BMI is 25 to 29.9 kg per meter square, the weight gain should be 7 to 11 kg. It is 15 to 25 pounds. And for obese, equal to or more than 30 kg per meter square, it should be 5 to 9 kg and 11 to 20 pounds. So depending on the BMI of that patient, you choose the exact option. Women with the raised BMI should be counseled regarding appropriate weight in the pregnancy and counseled regarding the risk in general. The risk increase as BMI increases. Okay. General pregnancy dietary advice. RCOG provides following dietary advice for the optimal weight control in pregnancy. Don't eat for two. Okay, don't eat for two. Maintain your normal portion size and try and avoid snacks. Okay. Okay, eat fiber rich foods such as oats, beans, lentils, grains, seeds, fruits and vegetables, as well as whole grain bread, brown rice and pasta. Base your meal on the starchy foods such as potatoes, bread, rice, pasta, choosing whole grain where possible. Okay. Restrict intake of fried food, drinks and confectionery high in added sugars and other food high in the fat or and sugar. देखिए हाई शुगर हाई फैट को आपने अवॉइड करना है. जो नेचुरल लो ग्लाइसेमिक इंडेक्स कार्बोहाइड्रेट्स हैं, यू कैन टेक दैम. लो ग्लाइसेमिक इंडेक्स कार्बोहाइड्रेट्स मीन्स the carbohydrates, when you take the carbohydrates, it rapidly increase your sugar levels in your blood. So if the glycemic index is low, then it will not rapidly increase, it will steadily increase for a long time. Okay, not rapidly increase too much like 10 to 20. I'm just giving example, but if it will increase steadily and for a long time, 2, 3, 4, but for a long time. Okay, not 10 to 20 rise rapidly after taking any high glycemic index food, but if you take the low glycemic index, it will increase 1, 2, after but 3, somewhere P1. So this is about low glycemic index and for the long time. So you can take starch, but choose the carbohydrate which are low glycemic index. And like all these brown rice, brown bread, these are low glycemic index. Okay. Restrict intake of fried food and high fat and high sugar should avoid. Eat at least 5 portions of a variety of fruits and vegetables each day. And dieting in pregnancy is not recommended, but controlling weight gain in pregnancy is advocated. ठीक है, dieting should not be, but control your weight gain according to the recommendations as I have told above. It may be difficult for the pregnant women to make these changes to their diets for the first time in their adult life, and further work is needed to determine how to enable pregnant women to follow this guidance. Next, about the general exercise advice. Aerobic and strength conditioning exercise in pregnancy is considered safe and beneficial, and it may help in recovery following delivery, reduce back and pelvic pain during pregnancy, and contribute to overall wellness. The aim of exercise during pregnancy is to stay fit rather than to reach peak fitness. Okay, so what is the aim? Aim is to stay fit rather than becomes to gain the proper fitness. Contact sports should be avoided, and if the pregnant woman has any coexisting medical conditions, a more tailored exercise program may be needed. However, there are very few pregnant women for whom some exercise is not appropriate, and healthcare professionals can encourage women to maintain walking, swimming and other forms of non-contact exercise. Okay, pelvic. So you can have walking, swimming and non-contact exercises you can do. Pelvic floor exercises during pregnancy and immediately after birth may reduce the risk of urinary and fecal incontinence in future. Following delivery, generally it is safe to resume exercise gradually as soon as the woman feels ready. The RCOG provides modified heart rate target zones for the exercise in pregnancy, and these are age dependent, are as follows: women less than 20 years of age, target age should be target range should be for the exercise. This is the target range, like RCG provides modified heart rate target zones. So what are the target zones? For the especially women less than 20 years of age, target range is 140 to 155 beats per minute. 20 to 29 years of age should be 135 to 150 beats per minute, and 30 to 39 years of age it should be 130 to 145 beats per minute, and more than 40 it should be 125 to 140. So if you can say generally pulse, if pulse rate increases with exercise, it should not be more than 150. Okay, it should be less than 150, and it can go up to, like if we talk about general range, 120 to 150. Okay, 120 to 150 is around okay during exercise, but not more than that. Okay, so this is actually never asked in MCQ, but it is important. So generally remember 120 to 150 bars, simple. If you do exercise, definitely palpitation are there. The palpitations are not more than, heart rate should not be more than 150. Breastfeeding education. Breastfeeding protects against diarrhea and common childhood illness such as pneumonia, and may also have longer term health benefits for the mother and child, such as reducing the risk of obesity later in life. Breastfeeding has also been associated with a higher intelligence quotient in children, and although it is not clear whether this is a result of confounding, WHO recommends initiation of breastfeeding within an hour of birth. Within an hour of birth. This is again an MCQ. Within an hour of birth. So this is from the WHO. This is WHO recommendation. Somewhere it's written that it should be within 30 minutes. Okay, here it is within hour of birth, and exclusive breastfeeding for the first 6 months of life, and continued breastfeeding beyond 6 months at least up to 2 years of age. Okay, this is about. Okay, although evidence for interventions to promote breastfeeding are limited, and a recent systematic ओके नेक्स्ट है हमारे पास के ऑप्शंस फॉर द प्री प्रेगनेंसी केयर क्या है, मतलब कहाँ कहाँ पर हम जो है वो प्री प्रेगनेंसी केयर दे सकते हैं. ठीक है, एक तो और स्पेसिफिकली के बर्थ कहाँ कहाँ की जा सकती है. तो इट कैन बी होम बर्थ. ठीक है, तो 2% पेशेंट्स को कहते हैं कि इंग्लैंड एंड वेल्स में जो है ना वो ऑप्ट करती है फॉर द होम बर्थ. तो होम बर्थ के बेनिफिट क्या हैं और होम बर्थ के डिसएडवांटेजेस क्या हैं. बेनिफिट ये है कि नो इंटरप्शन ऑफ लेबर टू गो टू होम. ठीक है ना, आपका फेमिलियर एनवायरनमेंट होता है, और नो सेपरेशन फ्रॉम द अदर चिल्ड्रन और वुमेंस पार्टनर ड्यूरिंग और आफ्टर बर्थ. कॉन्टीन्यूटी ऑफ केयर रहती है एंड रिड्यूस्ड इंटरवेंशंस हैं. बट डिसएडवांटेज क्या है कि 45% मदर्स जो कि प्राइमी हैं उनको, और अगर मल्टीज़ हैं तो 12% मदर्स को ट्रांसफ़र होना पड़ता है टू द हॉस्पिटल. और पुअर पेरीनेटल आउटकम है in twice as many first time home birth mothers compared with the first time mothers delivering in the hospital. अगर कोई भी प्राइमरी पेशेंट जो कि हॉस्पिटल में डिलीवर हो रही है उसके कंपैरिजन में जो मदर प्राइमरी पेशेंट घर में डिलीवर होगी उसका पेरीनेटल आउटकम जो है वो टू टाइम्स यानी कि इट इज़ पुअर आउटकम. तो दीज आर द डिसएडवांटेजेस फॉर दिस. एंड नेक्स्ट ये है कि लिमिटेड एनाल्जेसिक ऑप्शंस हैं, आप एपिड्यूरल नहीं दे सकते। और नेक्स्ट मिडवाइफरी यूनिट्स हैं। मिडवाइफरी यूनिट्स भी जो हैं वो अच्छे होते हैं, उनमें पेरिनेटल आउटकम जो है वो अराउंड कंपेरेबल है दोनों जगह पे, हॉस्पिटल में और मिडवाइफरी यूनिट्स में। एडवांटेजेस क्या हैं? अगेन कॉन्टीन्यूटी ऑफ केयर है, फीवर इंटरवेंशंस हैं और कन्वीनियंस ऑफ लोकेशन है क्योंकि वो नियर बाय होता है। और डिसएडवांटेज क्या है कि ट्रांसफ़र होना पड़ता है टू द हॉस्पिटल। 40% नली पैरस पेशेंट्स और 10% मल्टी पैरस पेशेंट हैं जिनको हॉस्पिटल जाना पड़ता है। और अगेन लिमिटेड एक्सेस है, एनाल्जेसिया की एक्सेस नहीं है, ठीक है। बट देयर इज़ नो डिफरेंस ऑफ रिस्क ऑफ एडवर्स पेरिनेटल आउटकम बिटवीन मिडवाइफरी यूनिट्स एंड द हॉस्पिटल यूनिट्स, ठीक है। उसमें उन्होंने 4.5 एडवर्स इवेंट्स कहे हैं पर 1000 बर्ड्स एंड वर्सेस 4.7 इवेंट्स पर 1000 बर्ड्स अलॉन्ग विद midwifery units and 5.3 in obstetric units, तो अराउंड कंपेरेबल है, अराउंड कंपेरेबल, ठीक है। हॉस्पिटल बर्थ सेंटर्स में क्या है कि हॉस्पिटल बर्थ सेंटर इज़ अ गुड प्लेस, कंटिन्यू टू प्रोवाइड केयर ड्यूरिंग लेबर बट डॉक्टर्स आर अवेलेबल शुड द नीड अराइज and there is direct access to the obstetrician, anesthetist and neonatologist. डिसएडवांटेज क्या है? लैक ऑफ कॉन्टीन्यूटी ऑफ द केयर। वो अगेन वही जो उसका एडवांटेजेस हैं वो इसके डिसएडवांटेजेस हैं। वो फैमिलियर एनवायरनमेंट नहीं है, लैक ऑफ कॉन्टीन्यूटी हो जाएगी, आप अदर चिल्ड्रन से आपको सेपरेट होना पड़ता है, स्पेसिफिकली जानना पड़ता है, ठीक है। तो दीज आर द डिसएडवांटेजेस। ओके, नेक्स्ट है कि एंटीनेटल यूरिन टेस्ट जो करना है वो आपने कब करना है? अगर एसिम्प्टोमेटिक बैक्टीरिया आता है पेशेंट का दैट इज़ एसोसिएटेड विद प्री टर्म डिलीवरी, सो इट इज़ इम्पॉर्टेंट एंड फिर लेटर ऑन इट कैन डेवलप इनटू पायलोनेफ्राइटिस। सो यूरिन एनालिसिस शुड बी परफॉर्म्ड एट एवरी एंटीनेटल विजिट्स। जब पेशेंट ने आना है आपने यूरिन एनालिसिस उसका ज़रूर करवाना है, ठीक है। यूरिन इज स्क्रीन्ड कब किस चीज़ के लिए करवाना है? स्क्रीन फॉर द प्रोटीन टू डिटेक्ट रीनल डिजीज़ और प्री एक्लेम्शिया एंड परसिस्टेंट ग्लाइकोसूरिया टू डिटेक्ट प्री एग्जिस्टिंग डायबिटीज़ एंड नाइट्राइट्स किस लिए होते हैं? टू डिटेक्ट यूरिनरी ट्रैक्ट इन्फेक्शन। तो यूरिनरी ट्रैक्ट इन्फेक्शन के अंदर इफ नाइट्राइट्स आर डिटेक्टेड ऑन द यूरिन डिप्स्टिक टेस्टिंग अ मिड स्ट्रीम यूरिन इज सेंट फॉर द माइक्रोस्कोपी एंड कल्चर एंड सेंसिटिविटी टू डिटेक्ट एसिम्प्टोमेटिक बैक्टीरिया। और अगर आपको मिल जाता है तो फिर आपने उसके अकॉर्डिंगली ट्रीट करना है पेशेंट को। ब्लड प्रेशर हर विजिट पे ज़रूर चेक करना है, वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट। अर्ली डिटेक्शन ऑफ हाई ब्लड प्रेशर, अर्ली स्टार्ट ऑफ ट्रीटमेंट, इट प्रिवेंट द पेशेंट टू गो इनटू द सीवियर हाइपरटेंशन। तो सीवियर हाइपरटेंशन को प्रिवेंट करने के लिए हम इसको चेक भी करेंगे, स्क्रीन भी करेंगे और उसके बाद फिर ट्रीट भी करेंगे। तो ये MCQ भी आता है कि आप हाइपरटेंशन को क्यों ट्रीट करते हैं, उसके ट्रीटमेंट का बेनिफिट क्या है। उसकी चीज़ें के 2 बेनिफिट्स हैं। एक तो ये कि आप इसलिए ट्रीट कर रहे हैं कि सीवियर हाइपरटेंशन में पेशेंट ना एंड अप हो, एंड नंबर 2 कि CVA को प्रिवेंट करने के लिए। तो बुकिंग विजिट्स इन बुकिंग टेस्ट एंड प्रेगनेंसी। तो लिस्ट ऑफ बुकिंग टेस्ट हैं जो कि प्रेगनेंसी पे आपने करने हैं। एक तो ये टेबल में भी हैं दिए हुए हैं इन्होंने, और उसके अलावा थोड़ी सी फर्दर डिटेल्स के साथ भी हैं। तो फर्स्ट इज़ full blood count. Full blood count measurement allows identification of the woman with anemia. Number 1, anemia in the pregnancy कैसे define करेंगे? Hemoglobin less than 10 gram per deciliter in the first trimester and 10.5 gram per deciliter in the second and third trimester and 10 gram per deciliter in the postpartum period. So it is 11 था फर्स्ट में 11 ग्राम पर डेसीलीटर है और उसके बाद फिर 10.5 और फिर 10, ठीक है। 11.5 कम करते जाए, 11 ग्राम, 10.5 ग्राम और फिर 10 ग्राम। ओके, द डिटेक्शन ऑफ अनीमिया शुड प्रॉम्प्ट एग्जामिनेशन ऑफ द मीन सेल वॉल्यूम टू आइडेंटिफाई लाइकली आयरन डेफिशिएंसी एनीमिया, यानी कि माइक्रोसिटिक है या मैक्रोसिटिक है। तो फर्दर टेस्ट कौन सा है? आफ्टर हीमोग्लोबिन। ये अक्सर बहुत ज़्यादा ये MCQ फ्रिक्वेंटली आज MCQ है कि जिसमें पूछते हैं कि आपका एक दफ़ा हीमोग्लोबिन कम आ गया तो उसके बाद फर्दर टेस्ट कौन सा होगा, या आपके मैनेजमेंट कौन सा टेस्ट चेंज कर रही है। तो दैट इज़ MCV चेंज कर रही है बिकॉज इट इज़ टेलिंग यू दैट इट इज़ माइक्रोसिटिक और मैक्रोसिटिक। उसके अकॉर्डिंगली फिर आपने नेक्स्ट आगे टेस्ट करना है। तो नेक्स्ट फिर आपने क्या टेस्ट करना होगा, या आपने फोलेट करना होगा या फिर आपने फेराटिन करना होगा, ठीक है। उसके अकॉर्डिंग आप ट्रीट करेंगे। तो इन अकॉर्डेंस विद द ब्रिटिश सोसाइटी ऑफ हेमाटोलॉजी रिकमेंडेशंस फॉर द एनीमिक वुमेन इन प्रेगनेंसी क्या है कि आपने ट्रायल देना है ओरल आयरन का, शुड बी कंसीडर्ड, ठीक है। अ ट्रायल ऑफ ओरल आयरन शुड बी कंसीडर्ड एज द फर्स्ट लाइन मैनेजमेंट ऑप्शंस, ठीक है, विद एन इंक्रीमेंट demonstrated at 2 weeks confirming a positive response, ठीक हो गया. And women with a known hemoglobinopathy should have serum ferritin checked and offered oral supplements if their ferritin level is less than 30 microgram per liter, ठीक है. जो हीमोग्लोबिनोपैथी के साथ है उनका सीरम फेरेटिन चेक करें, और अगर उनका फेरेटिन जो है वो इससे कम है तो फिर आप उनको क्या करेंगी, फिर हम उनको देंगे ओरल आयरन सप्लीमेंट्स देंगे, ठीक है. फुल ब्लड काउंट ऑल्सो अलाउज द identification of low platelet count, very nice, and which may rarely represent de novo immune thrombocytopenic purpura, gestational thrombocytopenia, a fall in gestational thrombocytopenia purpura क्या है कि fall in platelet count in pregnancy rarely presents in the first trimester. तो ये चूँकि प्रेगनेंसी में होते हैं इसलिए फर्स्ट ट्राइमेस्टर में प्रेजेंट नहीं करता, तो एंड इज़ मोर कॉमनली डिटेक्टेड बियॉन्ड 28 वीक्स. तो जो गेस्टेशनल थ्रोम्बोसाइटोपिनिया है वो आपको मिलेगा बियॉन्ड 28 वीक्स एंड लो प्लेटलेट काउंट इन द फर्स्ट ट्राइमेस्टर. अगर फर्स्ट ट्राइमेस्टर में लो प्लेटलेट काउंट है तो इट वारंट्स फर्दर इन्वेस्टिगेशन एंड हेमेटोलॉजिकल इनपुट, ठीक है. इन मैनी सेटिंग्स द थ्रेशहोल्ड फॉर द रेफरल के लिए थ्रेशहोल्ड क्या है हमारे पास, कितना अगर कम होगा तो हम उसको रेफ़र करेंगे, लेस देन 100, ठीक है. But individuals' maternity units may set their own criteria, and a baseline platelet count is also useful later in pregnancy if there are concerns regarding conditions such as preeclampsia develop हो गया, HELLP syndrome बन गया, ठीक है. तो आपको पता चलेगा कि एक बेसलाइन कंपैरिजन के लिए आपके पास मौजूद होगा अगर आपने बुकिंग विजिट पे किया हुआ है. ब्लड ग्रुप. A blood group is checked at booking to identify rhesus negative women so that they may be informed regarding the risk of rhesus immunization and all these things. So this is very important कि आपने blood group करना है उसका. So the British Society के according British Committee for the Standards in Hematology recommends that the following potential sensitizing events: anti-D immunoglobulin should be administered as soon as possible and always within 72 hours, ठीक है. आपने कौन से सेंसिटाइजिंग इवेंट्स अब कौन से हैं जिनमें आपने विदिन 72 आवर्स देना है. इन प्रेगनेंसीज लेस देन 12 वीक्स gestation, anti-D immunoglobulin prophylaxis is only indicated following ectopic pregnancy, molar pregnancy या फिर therapeutic termination of pregnancy, and in cases of uterine bleeding where this is repeated, heavy or associated with abdominal pain, ठीक है. तो जो लेस देन 12 वीक्स है वो कह रहे हैं कि आपने नहीं देना. अगर स्पॉन्टेनियस मिसकैरेज है, कोई टर्मिनेशन नहीं करनी पड़ी है, उसकी सर्जिकल इंटरवेंशन नहीं करनी पड़ी, कोई उसको हैवी ब्लीडिंग या फिर पेन नहीं हुई है, तो ठीक है, नो नीड फॉर द एंटी-डी. दिस इज़ अबाउट लेस देन 12 वीक्स. बाकी एक टॉपिक प्रेगनेंसी है या मोलर प्रेगनेंसी में भी एक पॉइंट डिस्कस होता है. वो क्या है कि कंप्लीट मोल के बाद आपने नहीं देना, ठीक है. तो प्रॉब्लम ये है कि हमें पता नहीं है, हमने हिस्टोपैथोलॉजी जब तक नहीं होगी तब तक हमें श्योरिटी नहीं है कि आइदर दिस वाज अ कंप्लीट मोल और अ पार्शियल मोल, तो इसलिए हमने मोलर प्रेगनेंसी के बाद देना होता है. The minimum dose of anti-D should be 250 international unit and a test for the fetal-maternal hemorrhage is not required. For potentially sensitizing events between 12 and 20 weeks. अब next option है आपके पास कि जो sensitizing events हो रहे हैं between 12 and 20 weeks, उनके लिए हम क्या करेंगे, minimum dose of 250 international unit should be administered within 72 hours of the event and a test for the fetal-maternal hemorrhage is not required. अगेन रिपीटेडली वो ये कह रहे हैं कि fetal-maternal hemorrhage के लिए कोई टेस्ट करने की आपको ज़रूरत नहीं है, डोज आपके सामने है. और देनी कब तक है, विदिन 72 आवर्स. वुमेन हु आर rhesus D नेगेटिव आर नाउ ऑफर्ड प्रोफाइलैक्टिक एंटी-D एडमिनिस्ट्रेशन एट 28 वीक्स. अच्छा, यहाँ मैं आपको एक बात बता दूँ कि हाई रिस्क में लिखा हुआ था कि आप 10 डेज़ तक भी दे सकते हैं, अप टू 10 डेज़ भी दे सकते हैं, बल्कि इवन शायद मोर दैन दैट भी था, ठीक है. तो 72 आवर्स को बहुत ज़्यादा स्ट्रिक्ट क्राइटेरिया नहीं है, बट इट्स गुड इफ़ यू गिव विदिन 72 आवर्स, बल्कि इवन इट्स नॉट ओनली गुड, इट्स बेस्ट. ओके. नेक्स्ट क्या है हमारे पास 250-72 आवर्स ऑफ इवेंट एंड अ टेस्ट फॉर द fetal maternal hemorrhage required. A women who are rhesus D negative and are now offered prophylactic anti-D administration at 28 weeks. तो this is about the 28 weeks prophylaxis कि आपने 28 वीक्स पे देना है एंटीनेटल एंटी-डी प्रोफाइलेक्सिस. आइदर अ सिंगल लार्ज डोज एट 28 वीक्स पे दें या फिर 2 डिवाइडेड डोजेज दें 28 पे और 34 वीक्स पे. अचीव अ सिग्निफिकेंट रिडक्शन इन द इंसिडेंस ऑफ मैटरनल सेंसिटाइजेशन टू रेसिस डी ड्यू टू अकल्ट सेंसिटाइजिंग इवेंट्स. तो जो छुपे हुए इवेंट्स हैं जिनका हमें नहीं पता चलता उनको भी आप कवर कर सकते हैं अगर आप प्रोफाइलेक्टिक डोज इन टाइमिंग्स पे दे देते हैं. ठीक है, क्योंकि इसका पर्पज़ क्या है, आपने प्रोफाइलेक्टिक डोज देने का क्या पर्पज़ है, आपने इम्यूनोग्लोबुलिन्स उसके अंदर ऐड कर दी, एंटीबॉडीज़ उसमें ऐड कर दी. और एंटीबॉडीज़ के ऐड करने से क्या होगा कि जैसे ही एंटीजन बॉडी में आएगा फ़ौरन तौर पे एंटीबॉडी उसको रिस्पॉन्स करेगी और वो इससे पहले कि वो मदर के सिस्टम को सेंसिटाइज़ करे और मदर खुद से एंटीबॉडीज़ उसके अगेंस्ट बनाना शुरू कर दे, उससे पहले ही वो उसको किल कर देंगे. ठीक है, तो दिस इज़ देयर फंक्शन. Rhesus D negative women also receive anti-D postpartum once a baby is confirmed as being Rhesus D positive on testing of a cord blood sample. तो इसके अलावा हम पोस्टमार्टम भी देते हैं. Okay. Assessment of the blood group in all pregnant women at 28 weeks also identifies those with other atypical antibodies so that appropriate monitoring can be put in place. New techniques such as non-invasive prenatal testing of the maternal blood for fetal rhesus status determined by analysis of cell-free fetal DNA may limit the need for anti-D prophylaxis to the mothers whose fetuses are known to be rhesus D positive. This is considered more reliable than testing a partner's blood group due to biological paternity not always being that one of the assumed partner. तो दिस इज़ ऑल्सो गुड, बट ये आप कब कर सकते हैं, यहाँ पर ये नहीं लिखा हुआ, बट इट इज़ ऑल्सो यू शुड नो दैट आप 16 वीक्स के बाद करते हैं. ठीक है, 16 वीक्स पे आप ये चीज़ कर सकते हैं कि आप उसका सेल्फ फ्री फीटल डीएनए के ज़रिए ब्लड ग्रुप का पता लगा लें. ओके, तो दिस इज़ गुड कि आप सेल्फ फ्री फीटल डीएनए कर दें रादर देन पेरेंट्स का करने, फादर का मैटरनल ब्लड ग्रुप देखने के बजाय. गेस्टेशनल डायबिटीज़. Women who have had previous gestational diabetes should be offered a glucose tolerance test or a random glucose tolerance test in the first trimester with the aim of detecting pre-existing diabetes that may have developed since preceding pregnancy. बहुत ही controversial MCQ, बहुत ही ज़्यादा controversial MCQ कि आपका अगर प्रीवियस GDM है तो आपने नेक्स्ट टाइम कब OGTT करना है. ठीक है, तो क्लियर कट लिखा हुआ है कि आपने फर्स्ट ट्राइमेस्टर में OGTT करना है. ठीक है, गाइडलाइंस भी यही कहती हैं और 10 टीचर्स भी यही कहती है. तो जब भी आपके पास अगर ये MCQ आता है कि प्रीवियस GDM है, आप कब उसका टेस्ट करेंगे, तो आपने कहना है कि हम बुकिंग विज़िट पे करेंगे. उसमें एक ऑप्शन आती है बुकिंग विज़िट की, तो आपने बुकिंग विज़िट पे करना है. Thalassemia. Thalassemia is a group of inherited blood disorders where the hemoglobin is abnormal as a result of mutations in genes that code hemoglobin. Okay, they are inherited in the autosomal recessive pattern. One thing is autosomal recessive pattern. Although the thalassemias can occur worldwide, the carrier rate is particularly common in people from Southeast Asia and also affects those of Mediterranean, North Africa, Middle Eastern, Indian and Asian origin. So we are also included in this ethnicity. A mutation that affects the alpha chain causes alpha thalassemia, and beta thalassemia occur as a result of mutation in the beta chain. The alpha chains are produced by 4 genes, 2 on each chromosome 16, inherited as pairs. So this is about alpha. The alpha are produced by 4 genes, 2 on 16 chromosome. Okay, alpha chain are produced by 4 genes and 2 ऑन ईच क्रोमोसोम नंबर 16, ठीक है। तो क्रोमोसोम नंबर 16 का नंबर याद रखना है आपने। द सेवेरिटी ऑफ द कंडीशन डिपेंड्स ऑन हाउ मैनी ऑफ दोज जीन्स हैव बीन अल्टर्ड, यानी कि 1 जीन हुआ है, 2 जीन, 3 जीन, 4 जीन्स, ठीक है। इफ़ 1 जीन इज़ म्यूटेटेड वुमेन आर एसिम्टोमेटिक, एंड इफ़ वुमेन कैरी 2 म्यूटेशंस, ठीक है। इसको साइड बाय साइड हाईलाइट भी कर लेते हैं। इफ़ 1 जीन इज़ म्यूटेटेड तो फिर पेशेंट जो है वो मोस्टली एसिम्टोमेटिक होगी। इफ़ वुमेन कैरी 2 म्यूटेशंस, अगर 2 जीन्स म्यूटेटेड हैं तो उसको हम क्या कह रहे हैं, अल्फ़ा थैलेसीमिया ट्रेट, एंड दे मे हैव माइल्ड एनीमिया, और इनमें क्या होगा, माइल्ड एनीमिया हो सकता है। हेमोग्लोबिन एच डिजीज़ अकर्स व्हेन एन इंडिविजुअल कैरीज 3 म्यूटेटेड जीन्स, ठीक है। तो जब 3 म्यूटेटेड जीन्स हैं तो उस कंडीशन को हम क्या कहेंगे जी, हेमोग्लोबिन एच डिजीज़, एंड विल लीड टू क्रोनिक एनीमिया। इस कंडीशन में होगा क्या, क्रोनिक एनीमिया होगा, ठीक है। दैट रिक्वायर्स रेगुलर ब्लड ट्रांसफ्यूजन, और ये ब्लड ट्रांसफ्यूजन डिपेंडेंट ही है। अल्फा थैलेसीमिया मेजर occurs when all 4 genes are mutated and is associated with a high incidence of intrauterine death। तो क्या होता है कि अल्फा थैलेसीमिया जो मेजर है इसके अंदर बेबी मोस्टली सर्वाइव करता ही नहीं है, इंट्रायूटाइन डेथ हो जाती है। देयर आर ओनली 2 बीटा जीन्स। अब बीटा थैलेसीमिया की अगर बात करें तो 2 बीटा जीन्स है, उसमें 4 जीन्स थे, उसमें 2 भी जीन्स हैं। 1 ईच ऑन क्रोमोसोम नंबर 11, उसमें 16 पे हैं, यहाँ पर 11 में है, ठीक है। दीज आर द डिफरेंसेस। Okay, the beta thalassemia phenotype can range from moderate to severe anemia. Beta thalassemia major occurs when both beta genes are affected, and the affected individuals will require blood transfusion for the rest of their life. Beta thalassemia intermedia is the milder form of the condition and is non-transfusion dependent. This is beta thalassemia intermedia. Screening for thalassemia in the UK is offered to all pregnant women at booking visit using the family origin questionnaire and FBC results. Those at high risk of having an affected fetus should be then referred to a fetal medicine unit and to discuss the option of invasive confirmatory testing. दिस इज़ गुड। इवन स्क्रीनिंग जो यूके में हो रही है दैट इज़ फैमिली ओरिजिन क्वेश्चनर बेस्ड एंड फुल ब्लड काउंट रिजल्ट बेस्ड। ओके, sickle cell screen similar to the other hemoglobinopathies, certain ethnic groups are at higher risk of carrying sickle cell trait. The carrier rate for the sickle cell trait is approximately 1 in 10 among Afro-Caribbean people, but as high as 1 in 4 in people from Western Africa. The carrier frequency for hemoglobin C trait is approximately 1 in 30, but up to 1 in 6 in some groups. Okay, HBSS homozygous sickle cell disease is sickle cell disease is the most serious form of disease, and these patients have chronic hemolytic anemia and suffer from sickle cell crisis, which may be precipitated by infection. Women can also have combination of HBS and other beta globin variants such as HBsC. These individuals have slightly milder features than seen in HBSS. तो मोस्ट जो सीरियस फॉर्म है वो कौन सी है, दैट इज़ HBSS, ठीक है। यहाँ पर भी मेंशन है HBSS homozygous, that is the most serious form, are still at risk of sickle cell crisis, and partners of women with sickle cell disease or trait are offered screening early in pregnancy with option of invasive testing to detect an affected fetus if both parents are carriers. ओके, अगर दोनों पेरेंट्स कैरियर्स हैं तो फिर आपने फीटस को भी चेक करना है। फर्स्ट ट्राइमेस्टर इन्फेक्शन स्क्रीन क्या क्या करेंगे आप इन्फेक्शन के लिए। रूबेला, फॉर मेनी ईयर्स मेटर्नल इम्यूनिटी टू रूबेला हैज़ बीन टेस्टेड एट बुकिंग विजिट in most countries. The National Organization Public Health England has recently stopped, that is important, recently stopped routine testing for the rubella. So this is now stopped on the grounds that the rubella infection levels in the UK are low. They are defined as eliminated by the WHO. Rubella infection in pregnancy is now very rare. The mumps, measles, and rubella immunization program has demonstrated that over 90% of children aged up to 2 years had received at least one mumps, measles, and rubella vaccination. And as the screening test use can potentially give inaccurate results and cause unnecessary stress among women, and the screening program has been stopped. Majority of pregnant women are rubella immune and no further action is required. In instances where a woman is found now to be immune, she is advised to avoid contact with the individuals known to be currently infected and offer the combined MMR vaccination following delivery. Okay, syphilis. Syphilis is a sexually transmitted disease caused by the transmission of Treponema pallidum, and in pregnancy it may cause miscarriage or stillbirth and can cause active disease in the newborn. Okay, infants if contracted antenatally. Between 2011 and 12, there were 2,978 cases of syphilis diagnosed in the UK, and although diagnosis is rare in pregnancy due to the increasing incidence of the disease and the fact that it may be safely treated with penicillin in pregnancy, women continue to be routinely screened for syphilis in pregnancy. So syphilis के लिए हमने स्क्रीन करना है पेशेंट को. Okay, next is hepatitis B. Hepatitis B screening is performed in pregnancy to reduce infant infection without preventive measures. 90% babies born to the mothers with hepatitis B will contract the virus and develop chronic infection. How many? 90% patients. Okay, and which is associated with liver failure, cirrhosis, hepatocellular carcinoma. If the baby is born to a woman with active hepatitis B, then the infant should receive hepatitis B vaccine and 1 dose of hepatitis B immunoglobulin within first 12 hours of life. If there is active woman is with active hepatitis B, this confers over 95% protection against chronic hepatitis B infection, and the protection कितनी मिल रही है आपको 25%, 95% protection. ठीक है, and the infant will require additional doses of hepatitis B vaccine at 1 month and 6 months of the age. So this is about vaccination program. The test of the screening for hepatitis B involves detection of hepatitis B surface antigens, hepatitis B surface antibody, and anti-hepatitis B surface antibodies दो आपके पास आ गए. ठीक है, डिटेक्शन ऑफ एंटीबॉडी implies immunity to hepatitis B. Hepatitis B surface antigen indicates the presence of hepatitis B in the blood. Hepatitis B core antigen or anti-hepatitis B core antibodies indicates that a person may have exposed to the hepatitis B virus. Okay, this is about Corvax. Okay, now hepatitis C. NICE currently recommends that pregnant women should not be offered routine screening for hepatitis C virus because there is insufficient evidence to support its clinical and cost effectiveness. Screening for hepatitis C may be offered to women considered to be at high risk. This includes current or previous intravenous drug use and hepatitis B or human immunodeficiency virus infection. So these are the screening कहाँ करनी है आपने. hepatitis C की may be offered to the women considered high risk. Which are high risk? Previous IV drug users हैं, hepatitis B infection है, और human immunodeficiency virus infection. And the risk of these are the high risk patients. The risk of transmitting the virus from the mother to child is approximately 5%, but this increases significantly up to 36% if there is co-infection with HIV. That is again very important point. Okay, without infection, HIV infection, and with HIV infection. ठीक है. Screening is performed by examining the hepatitis C virus immunoglobulins and HIV. The estimated HIV prevalence among pregnant women in the UK is 2 per thousand. With appropriate interventions, risk of transmission to the neonate is as low as 0.1%. Okay, with appropriate interventions to minimize vertical transmission, including initiation of antiretroviral therapy by 24 weeks. ठीक है, क्या क्या इंटरवेंशन हैं कि आपने एंटीरेट्रोवायरल थेरेपी स्टार्ट कर देनी है 24 वीक से. एंड प्लान्ड इलेक्टिव सिजेरियन सेक्शन करना है फॉर दोज जिनका 400 HIV-RNA लोड है, और copies at 36 weeks, and exclusive formula feed from birth regardless of the viral load and ART use. तो फार्मूला फीड अपने करने, कोई भी वायरल लोड है कुछ भी है. इट इज़ रिकमेंडेड दैट वुमेन हु डिक्लाइन इनिशियल स्क्रीनिंग शुड बी ऑफर्ड स्क्रीनिंग अगेन एट 28 वीक्स. ठीक है, तो 28 वीक्स पे अगेन की स्क्रीनिंग की जा सकती है. अल्ट्रासाउंड फॉर द फर्स्ट ट्राइमेस्टर डेटिंग एंड स्क्रीनिंग. Accurate dating through first trimester ultrasound is key to avoid issues later in pregnancy, such as incorrect identification of the growth restriction and inadvertent induction of labor for the post-date pregnancy. First trimester ultrasound also enables early identification of the multiple pregnancies, screening for the trisomies, examination of the fetus for the gross anomalies such as anencephaly, cystic hygromas, dating scan, and the first trimester screening is best performed when at 13 plus 3 to 11 plus 3 to 13 plus 6 weeks of gestation, when the crown rump length is between 84 to 45 to 84 mm, and again from 14 to 20 weeks head circumference can be used to date the pregnancy. This is again an MCQ कि before 14 weeks आप CRL यूज़ करते हैं और after 14 weeks हम head circumference यूज़ करते हैं. ठीक है. बियॉन्ड 20 वीक्स गेस्टेशन क्या होता है कि इम्पैक्ट ऑफ द जीन्स एंड एनवायरमेंटल फैक्टर्स कैन कॉज वेरिएबिलिटी इन द फीटल साइज, एंड डेटिंग अ प्रेगनेंसी बाय अल्ट्रासाउंड स्कैन देयरफॉर बिकम्स प्रोग्रेसिवली लेस एक्यूरेट as the gestation advances. This is just one of the potential problems of the late booking. तो फर्स्ट ट्राइमेस्टर स्क्रीनिंग करेंटली इन्वॉल्व, उसमें आपने क्या क्या करना है. मेजरमेंट ऑफ द नकल ट्रांसलूसेंसी, the median 95th percentile for the NT is 1.2 and 2.1 mm with a CRL of 45, and 1.9 mm and 2.7 mm for the CRL of 84 mm. ठीक है, that is median, and along with median it is median and 95th percentile. ठीक है, this is very important. So these all are around less than 3. All values are around less than 3. तो measurement of maternal free HCG, human chorionic gonadotropins, and pregnancy associated plasma protein A, ये भी हम करते हैं. in trisomy 21 pregnancies the concentration of free beta HCG is higher, around 2 multiples of median, and the concentration of papa is lower, approximately 0.5 multiples of median. तो ट्राइसोमी में इनकी वैल्यूज़ भी आपको मिल गई. Maternal age, using an algorithm based on the above criteria, the detection rate for the trisomy 21 is approximately 90%, and the false positive rate can be reduced to 3% by additionally examining the nasal bone, ductus venosus flow, and tricuspid flow, and gives a detection rate of 95%. These are actually soft markers. Screening may also be performed in the second trimester between 14 and 20 weeks. Gestation consists exclusively of risk prediction using maternal biomarkers. The quadruple test measures maternal alpha fetoprotein, HCG, and unconjugated estriol and inhibin A. This is the quadruple test that can be performed between in the second trimester and has an 80% detection rate and false positive rate is 5%. Newer techniques कौन सी है? Non-invasive prenatal testing are now available and with reported sensitivities for detection of Down syndrome of more than 99% with a screen positive rate of less than 0.2%. तो क्या? This is again important. Sensitivity specifically. अच्छा, identification of high risk women. Okay, women at high risk of developing preeclampsia. NICE currently recommends that women considered to be at high risk of preeclampsia should have low dose aspirin treatment initiated early in pregnancy until delivery, and women considered to be at high risk कौन सी women हैं? Hypertension disease during previous pregnancy जिनको थी, chronic kidney disease थी, autoimmune disease such as systemic lupus erythematosus and or antiphospholipid syndrome, type 1 और type 2 diabetes, chronic hypertension. ठीक है, तो इन सब में हम क्या करेंगे? दीज आर द इंडिकेशंस कि जहाँ पर आपने लो डोज एस्पिरिन स्टार्ट करनी है. ठीक है, फर्दर मोर कह के वुमेन विद 2 और मोर मॉडरेट रिस्क फैक्टर्स. अब ये मॉडरेट रिस्क फैक्टर्स अगर हैं तो फिर 2 या 2 से ज़्यादा मॉडरेट रिस्क फैक्टर्स हों फॉर किसके लिए? प्री एक्लैम्प्सिया के लिए. और ऑल्सो रिकमेंड टू कमेंस एस्पिरिन अर्ली इन द प्रेगनेंसी. वो कौन से हैं? प्राइमरी पैरिटी है, एडवांस मैटरनल एज है more than 40 years and multiple gestation है, pregnancy interval more than 10 years है, BMI equal to or more than 35 है, at booking फैमिली हिस्ट्री है प्री एक्लैम्प्सिया की. अगर पर्सनल हिस्ट्री है दैट इज़ हाई रिस्क और फैमिली हिस्ट्री है तो मॉडरेट रिस्क आ जाता है. ऑल वुमेन शुड बी स्क्रीन एट एवरी एंटीनेटल विजिट फॉर प्री एक्लैम्प्सिया बाय मेजरमेंट ऑफ blood pressure and urine analysis. This is at random for all patients. This is recommended for all patients. Okay, this one. ठीक है क्या? वुमेन एट हाई रिस्क ऑफ प्री टर्म लेबर. इसको कैसे पता चलेगा कि वुमेन कंसिडर टू बी एट हाई रिस्क ऑफ प्री टर्म लेबर? दोज with previous preterm birth, late miscarriage, multiple gestation, cervical surgery such as previous cone biopsy. Those women may be offered serial cervical length screening with or without the use of fetal fibronectin to detect increased risk of preterm birth. Note, no aggregate screening protocol for preterm birth is available. Okay. फीटल ग्रोथ रिस्ट्रिक्शन के लिए क्या है कि सिम्फिजियो फंडल हाइट मेजरमेंट शुड बी परफॉर्म्ड एट एंटीनेटल विजिट. ये कब आपने करनी है? सिम्फिजियो फंडल हाइट मेजरमेंट it should be performed from 24 weeks. Concerns of the fetal growth may be slow as has stopped altogether should prompt ultrasound scanning. There is no consensus on the recommended routine use of ultrasound in pregnancy. The majority of units offer dating scan at the end of first trimester and anomaly scan at around 22 weeks. Okay, this is about anomaly scan at 22 weeks, but no further growth assessment unless clinically indicated, and some units offer an additional third trimester scan, but this is still being evaluated in the research studies. Okay, vitamin D deficiency is about RCOG advises that there is no data to support routine screening for the vitamin D deficiency in pregnancy in terms of health benefits or cost effectiveness. Women thought to be at increased risk of vitamin D deficiency on the basis of the skin color, coverage and obesity. Risk of preeclampsia or gastroenterological conditions limiting the fat absorption may be screened, but this testing is expensive. Daily vitamin D supplementation with oral cholecalciferol या फिर ergo calciferol is safe in pregnancy. डेली आप विटामिन डी दे सकते हैं पेशेंट को. नाइस क्या रिकमेंड कर रही है कि गाइडलाइन स्टेट्स दैट ऑल प्रेग्नेंट वुमेन एंड ब्रेस्ट फीडिंग वुमेन शुड हैव हाउ मच 10 microgram of vitamin D daily, and severe, this is about daily, and severe vitamin D deficiency in pregnancy result in increased neonatal rickets. Okay, second trimester में क्या हो सकता है कि between 20 to 22 weeks gestation it is recommended that fetal anatomy may be assessed, and this is a detailed scan. Okay, this is a detailed scan at detecting conditions such as spina bifida, major congenital anomalies, diaphragmatic hernia, renal agenesis and prenatal diagnosis में भी हम इसको देख लेंगे. Gestational diabetes, universal screening for the gestational diabetes is available in some countries including USA, Australia, and NICE advocates risk-based screening in the UK. GDM is diagnosed if a woman has fasting blood glucose level of 5.6 millimole per liter or above, or 2-hour plasma glucose of 7.8 millimole per liter or above, or a 2 इनमें से कोई एक भी वैल्यू अगर आ जाती है तो पेशेंट डायग्नोज हो जाता है फॉर GDM. And the risk factor for development of GDM include women with previous gestational diabetes, previous macrosomia equal to or more than 4.5 kg, raised BMI equal to or more than 30 kg per meter square, and first degree relative with diabetes, or women Asian, Black, African, Caribbean or Middle Eastern origin. If risk factors are present, the woman should be offered 2 hours 75 OGTT at 24 to 28 weeks of gestation. Women with a previous history of GDM should have an oral glucose tolerance test at 16 to 20 weeks, 16 to 18 weeks, and the test should be repeated at 24 to 28 weeks of gestation. This whole paragraph is very, very important. Whole. Okay. Governance of maternity care. Many clinical, political, and consumer bodies now contribute to optimizing care for women in pregnancy. These include the following. NICE has evaluated maternity care in great detail and continues to publish many important guidelines relating to different aspects of pregnancy, covering antenatal, interpartum and postpartum. ठीक हो गया. तो this is not this much. Okay. कुछ हम केस हिस्ट्री करते हैं. 39 years old patient, originally from Pakistan, is approximately 8 weeks of gestation and attends a booking visit with her community midwife, who fills out client health records, and this is Mrs. Singh's 4th pregnancy, and having had 2 normal deliveries following a cesarean section. For a transfer slide, the previous babies weighs 2.3 kg and 2.4 kg and 2.35 kg, all born at 39 weeks of gestation. Mrs. Singh's booking blood pressure is 140 by 95 mm of mercury, and her BMI is 37. Identify the key issues raised and prepare a plan for the management during pregnancy. So the Mrs. Singh's is originally from Pakistan, although has been a UK citizen for many years. This makes a language problem less likely. However, there is no record that a thalassemia screen has been performed, and this is important because thalassemia trait carrier status might contribute to the maternal anemia. Furthermore, if the father of the baby is also a carrier, the child will have 1 in 4 chance of having thalassemia, and it is reassuring that all the children are fit and well, but this does not exclude the possibility that they are both carriers. Okay. Mrs. Singh is 39 years old, and this slightly increases the risk of pregnancy complications including preeclampsia, but more significantly, it is associated with an increased risk in the risk of certain fetal chromosomal abnormalities, principally Down syndrome. And the decision to undergo screening and invasive testing is a personal one, and often influenced by cultural and religious beliefs, but an offer of screening should be made to all women. Mrs. Singh likely has chronic hypertension, possibly related to her body weight, but is not currently on medication. Mrs. Singh should be commenced on 75 milligram aspirin to reduce the risk of preeclampsia, and she should also be assessed further for consideration of starting an antihypertensive agent. Mrs. Singh children have all been of low birth weight, and it is difficult to determine whether they were constitutionally small but healthy or whether they were pathologically small. Should be performed as surveillance for fetal growth restriction, and Mrs. Singh has raised BMI. This increases her risk of anesthetic complications such as failure to intubate or successfully site a spinal anesthetic, and also her risk of developing GDM. And OGTT will be recommended at 28 weeks of gestation to screen for this. Finally, the mode of delivery after the previous cesarean section requires discussion. The transverse lie has probably secondary to the uterine laxity, but this would need to be confirmed by obtaining the previous pregnancy notes, and the option for the mode of delivery, vaginal birth after cesarean section or elective repeat cesarean section, will need to be discussed. Malpresentation at term may occur again. In conclusion, Mrs. Singh has a number of factors that increase the risk of complications in this pregnancy, and shared care under a hospital consultant would be appropriate form of antenatal care. So this is extended match question. So first question is, you review a pregnant woman at booking visit who previously was delivered at 32 weeks of gestation for severe preeclampsia. So what should you do? जब प्रीवियस प्री क्लेम्शिया है किसी पेशेंट को, पर्सनल हिस्ट्री है ना, तो हाई रिस्क हो गई। इसका मतलब है कि अगर एक भी हाई रिस्क है तो फिर हमने पेशेंट को एस्प्रिन स्टार्ट करनी है। नंबर 2, अ वुमेन attends your clinic following first trimester screening that has shown the fetus to have 1 in 25 risk of trisomy. ठीक है, 1 in 25 आफ्टर स्क्रीनिंग। तो अगर 1 in 25 का रिस्क है तो फिर अब हमें क्या करना चाहिए? क्वाड्रुपल टेस्ट करेंगे, नॉर्मली स्कैन करेंगे। यहाँ पर कोई चीज़ है हमारे पास? जी यस, ऑब्ज़र्व करेंगे प्रेग्नेंट पेशेंट को, रेफ़र करेंगे टू द फीटल मेडिसिन यूनिट। तो इन सब में से तो फिर आप रेफ़र ही कर सकते हैं कि यहाँ पर इन्होंने क्या कहा है कि आप यस, फॉलोइंग हाई रिस्क स्क्रीनिंग द वुमेन शुड बी काउंसल्ड रिगार्डिंग द अवेलेबिलिटी ऑफ इन्वेसिव टेस्ट टू रूल आउट ट्राइसोमी 21 विद रेफरल टू अ फीटल मेडिसिन यूनिट। ओके, नेक्स्ट क्वेश्चन है कि अ वुमेन अटेंड्स द बुकिंग विजिट हैविंग हैड प्रीवियस GDM। ठीक है, तो प्रीवियस GDM और बुकिंग विजिट पे आई है पेशेंट, तो बुकिंग विजिट पे आपने क्या करना है? उसका OGTT। ठीक है, जो हमने पहले भी बात की है, इस पर कन्फ्यूज़ नहीं होना। बुकिंग विजिट पे हमने उसका OGTT करना है। Yes, the answer is C. This woman is at high risk of GDM but also of pre-existing diabetes, and therefore she should be offered an early OGTT and a repeat test at 26 to 28 weeks if first one is negative. Question number 4 है कि a woman attends your booking clinic at 18 weeks of gestation and she recently discovered she was pregnant and is concerned about trisomy 21. What should you do? 18 वीक्स पे आई तो फिर क्वाड्रुपल टेस्ट ही करेंगे डेफिनेटली, और क्या कर सकते हैं? ओके, अकॉर्डिंग टू नाइस विच ऑफ द फॉलोइंग इज़ नॉट अ रिस्क फैक्टर फॉर स्क्रीनिंग फॉर GDM? कौन सा रिस्क फैक्टर नहीं है? प्रीवियस GDM है, प्रीवियस मैक्रोसोमिया है, मैटरनल रेस्ड यूरोपियन डिसेंट, यस दिस इज़ नॉट। Okay, according to the NICE, which of the following is not a high risk factor for developing preeclampsia? Chronic kidney disease, yes. Autoimmune disease such as SLE, yes. Or antiphospholipid syndrome, yes. Chronic hypertension, yes, but thyroid disease is not. Okay. Okay, this is all about. Okay, girls, good luck.